Good morning. So today is December 13th, 2024, Friday morning. It's almost close to 12, but not 12 yet, 11:56 a.m. US Eastern Time. Um, so today, finally, after many days, I am doing the morning journaling video using the tripod. I don't know how long I'll talk, but I'll see. I never plan for it as it goes. I kind of go with the flow. I hope you all are having a good time during the holidays. A lot of people, stress out. I would say don't stress out. Remember that you always have an option to push things. Whatever you can push, you can push. I had to do some of that, and more than I don't know. Most of the time, we forget that we have a choice, right? So we have a choice to move things around, to not push ourselves to the point that we feel stressed. If we try to do 20 things together, we would get overwhelmed. And a couple days ago, that's what my situation was. Then I had to move things around. And even with all the stressful situation, we have to make sure we do some self-care. And self-care could mean different to different people. To some, it could mean going to the gym. To some, it could mean going outdoors for a walk. It could mean, going out together as a family at a restaurant, to a dinner, or just having lunch with a friend or coffee with a friend, or it could be all of them for you. It even a little time, even a 5 or 10 minutes meditation, that could be it. But even if you don't do it daily, at least make it a priority to do once a week, because we absolutely need that. Because we cannot, like they say, we cannot pour out of an empty cup. No matter how much any of us think that, we have superhuman patience or superhuman qualities or whatnot, we cannot keep on going without filling our own tank, right? We just like a phone, or just like the smartwatch. I got this new smartwatch with the battery doesn't hold. I have to probably change it. I don't know. In 2 days the battery runs out. Anyway, so the point is that our battery also runs out. So, and when we are in an environment that is draining a lot of our energy, it could be work, it could be home, it could be, everything together, the holidays, we have to make it a priority to do the things that makes us feel good, because we all need that escape. And that escape can be different for different people, but we all need it. And this year, I think, as I am trying to prioritize things and look at it differently, my life also has been different in a good way. And the other day I was telling a friend that last December, if somebody told me this is how I would emotionally feel this December, I would not believe them. My outer reality hasn't changed much, but my inner reality has. And that is, you can, depending on your belief or how you think about things, you can think about it in many different ways, like how or what got you there. For me, so I think one interesting way to explain this would be, so I saw a picture yesterday, and and again, it kind of goes back to like a couple days ago. If you saw not a couple days ago, about a week ago, I had this story, I don't know, it just popped up in my head as I was doing the video. Like, how we go from point A to point B, it's who we become in the process, and we start seeing the same thing differently as we learn and grow. So the interesting part was, it's a pen, right? Maybe 10 years ago, I saw that pen as a pen that can write. And now, 10 years after, with the learning and wisdom and faith and God, depending on whatever you believe in, like universe, doesn't matter, with the learning that you have, you can see that the same pen can write inspiring stories. The pen stayed the pen, but like what the capabilities are, is I'm looking at the potential, what all it can do. And the journey doesn't stop here. It's the point A to point B. There could be point C and beyond. Like, what can we do beyond that, right? And the journey towards the destination. Like, when we go for a travel, they say that there are so many researches around that people feel happier when they plan for the vacation, or when the vacation is coming, versus when they're actually spending the time during the vacation. So it's the journey, right? So imagine in our life if we have that much excitement towards the destinations that we are going for, and we can tell ourselves that story. And when I say destination, it could be those, to sum it up, I know it'll sound weird, to sum it up, it could be that when we die, a lot of people would think that what in a month we could die, or it could be, I don't know, 40 more years. But what are the things that we would really would wish at that time that we did, and we are not regretting that, oh, we didn't do this or we didn't do this? What are the things that we want to do? And do as much of those as possible, and then you enjoy the journey, right? Because the destination is in the grave for all of us. And after that, depending on your faith and belief, you either believe in reincarnation or not, or live with God, and whichever way, hell, heaven, whatever. Different people believe different things, so I don't want to get into that. However, the ultimate thing is our life ends. As our life ends, during this period, enjoying the journey. Imagine that, enjoying the journey as if a holiday is coming, right? I know it sounds weird, but if we can live by that, that can make us happy. And every day, every single moment, won't be happy because we are human beings. This morning when I was talking to my mom, it was after a couple of weeks, she was a little sad about something, and I don't know, randomly it came to my mind, and I told her that, the time is going to pass anyway. So in life, so we could either be sad or we could either be happy. So it's a choice. We can make the choice to be happy. Anyway, my mom is, if you have seen my videos before, my mom is very inspiring. I have learned so much from her, and many of this, it just unfolds as time goes by. She's like the most open-minded person I've ever seen, and she lived in a small town in India, so I have no idea how she thinks like that. It must be God's wisdom, because I won't be as open-minded as she is if I lived her life. Even living this life, I have been in the US for 19 and a half years, so I don't know how she has all that wisdom, but I'm so grateful that she has that. Anyway, a segue to that, I wanted to talk about another thing today. because I keep talking about our thinking, speaking, and action. Thinking, speaking, and action. Normal thought processes, again, they say thinking, feeling, and action. I feel like the feeling is the byproduct of the words that we constantly speak and listen to. So the words are actually the ones that are in our dominating thought. If you think of it, they say there are 60 to 70,000 thoughts that goes on in our mind every single day. And 95% of those thoughts are the same the day prior to today to next day. And that's why we people, we don't change, because we keep repeating the same thing and we're like autopilot. So those 95% thought, the dominating thought, that is what we usually end up speaking, because that is in the top of our mind. Because if I don't know, if I were to take an example. Okay, so I don't know, I started using this metaphors. I'm big into using metaphors. Let's say these are all our thought. Okay, these are different Post-it cards, different colors, right? Red, yellow, pink, and purple. So let's say the dominating thought is at the top, right? The red, and the second is yellow. So most of the time, we are going to talk about the things that are in the red zone, right? And then maybe sometime we'll get to the yellow, but we'll barely ever get to purple. And there is like more like that, right? Thousands, many thousands of thoughts. And so this is what can change our life in a good way. But because those are not our dominating thought, we are not taking any action on that. We are not speaking about it. So we have to try to make it a habit. And sometimes, let's say this is going to the gym and losing weight. I would use that for me. I have to make that as a dominating thought. And the way the dominating thought happens is by speaking to it. And that's why I keep speaking here, and sometimes with my friends too, about going to the gym and exercising and my accomplishments around that. Also, as you do that, they say you can form the habit by doing, because habit is in our mind, right? So our mind has to change. So mind takes plus or minus 1 to 2 months to make something a habit. So if I keep pushing myself to the gym, even if not daily, but let's say 4 or 5 times a week for 2 months, then I will miss going to the gym. And right now I am actually missing going to the gym. I came back from the trip. I want to go to the gym, but there's a lot of stuff going on. So I haven't had the chance yet, but maybe next week. But anyway, that's the point, because now it has become my habit, because I literally had to pull it up. And that's also kind of goes with like prioritizing your things that you really want to accomplish, and that priority may change over time. Every few months I end up looking at it every other day maybe, because I have 14 things that I want to work on in my list, and some of them will take a lot of time, some of them will take little time. And I know that I cannot work on 14 things all at once. Tony Robbins says our mind can remember only 5 to 7 things at a time. And I actually think only 3 to 5. And that is something even in our Toastmaster speeches, when we do, they say use the rule of 3, because 3 is usually what people remember the most. So anyway, I think the priority is also 3 works the best. What is the top 3 priority in the next 3 or 6 months to achieve? Either it is physical, job, family, whatever that goal is. Anyway, I mean, all of this comes with, what makes you happy, because I follow some self-help gurus online. Some of them are very accomplished. At the same time, it sounds like very their life is so active that seems like they might not be having peace, but at the same time maybe they are, because for different people definition of peace and happiness is different. So for me, it might be so that, like, I work intensely for 2 months, and then the third month I take a vacation, and that's peace. So we just have to define what it is that fills our tank for different people. And I'm using the term tank because I usually use bucket. A couple days ago I read some article, they used it as a tank rather than bucket. You can call it filling bucket, filling tank, whatever that is. The whole point is like filling your own emotion with so much positivity and optimism that it overflows, that you can give it to others. Because if you are feeling down, you cannot give it to others. So you have to feel better to make others feel better, if it makes any sense. So anyway, from the word perspective, so I wanted to share this, how simple act of kindness or few words can change someone's life trajectory. So I'm going to take my example of my own life. Back in 1998 in India, I did my first joint entrance examination, which is like SAT in the US. And my score was okay, not the best. I did at the local, like the same in my city, the engineering college. And back then, now that college is a lot better. It was like, I think one of top 25 or 30 in India, because they changed it to the class. I guess it's called NIT now. But anyway, so back then, if you finished engineering from that college, you could not get a job, not even in like 15 years, 20 years. So I was a little sad, of course, after first year. And for whatever reason, I thought I will not do the second time joint entrance, even if it could be good or bad or whatever. I don't know, I just didn't probably have the confidence in me or whatever that may be. I still remember a distant family member. She came by our house, and they lived about 15-20 minutes far away from us. And she came by and she was saying, oh, this person did a second time, and they made it really good, and now he is in the US and doing this great job, all of that stuff. And I kept thinking, and today this thought came to my mind that so it switched something in my mind. And she probably doesn't know, she just said it because she probably had some belief in me. I don't know, that it could happen even though I didn't see. And so I didn't say anything but at that time, but I knew something switched in me, and I thought maybe I could do that. And I prepared for second year of joint entrance, like sort of like doing SAT the second time, 1999. And my score was really, really good. So first year, if I remember the numbers, it could be done differently now. It was, I think, 87 or 187, something like that. First year. Second year I was 30. So the way it happens is first 10 or 15 they go to the top colleges. So in India, what happens is the IIT. There are 5 or 7 IIT, which is like MIT in the US, and the next group, 10, 15, or up to 20, they go to this thing called, that time it used to be called REC, but now they're called NIT. And then the rest, not the rest, like 10, next 10, 15, up to like 35 or so, go to this third layer, which is like the top state colleges. So I remember that yeah, with that rank, with that rank, I was in the second category for civil engineering, but civil engineering jobs are a little hard to find in India. And then my goal was to go to computer science or electronics. And back then, I think the electronics was getting the higher than computer science for whatever reason, electronics and telecom engineering. And I picked that, and I went to Bangalore, Karnataka, which is in south. And so Bangalore is sort of like known in India. It's sort of like how it is in Silicon Valley of the US. So Bangalore is like Silicon Valley of India. So yeah, I did my engineering there 4 years and worked in India for a couple of years before coming here in 2005. So I share this because the whole trajectory has changed when someone said that, that's a possibility. So what I realized is, and this is like the top number one thing I teach Alice, my daughter, is that always believe in yourself. And I in my life, as I know, nobody directly told me about that. I have to always, I don't know, fight is the real word, fight through my way to wherever I went to. But now when I look back, that person, when she said that, that was an indirect way of saying that I believe in you. And sometimes that's what we have to look around. People are probably believing in us, they're just saying it in a different way. Also, we could be that person for others in their life. We could make a difference, without knowing. We can make so much difference in somebody's life that can change their whole life's trajectory. Yeah, so speaking of believing in herself, when we went to the trip, so Alice is good at getting that claw machine thing. Is it here? No, it's downstairs. So this one had a huge claw machine at the arcade, and she got this huge face of snowman. Inside is hollow, but someday I'll show it on the camera. So it was funny that how it is ingrained in her, and I'm so happy about it. I just hope that that continues all her life. So she was playing in the arcade different things, and she was playing with the claw machine. And if you know how those works, they are designed in such a way that people can't win anything. And Alice has the tendency to win it, and not the first time. Sometimes it takes 2 tries, sometimes it takes 3 tries. She plays it here sometime in a smaller place. So anyway, so that was like this huge, like literally this huge. And she tried to get something. First time she lost, second time she lost, third time she lost. And the fourth time, she says, I believe in myself. Even me saying anything to her, I believe in myself. So she goes for the 4th try. And we don't have enough money in the card. But because she believed in herself, because she said it, me as a mom, I'm like, I gotta fill up that card. I just felt that I gotta fill up that card, whatever happens. And so I went and filled up $25 again. And those, each one was like $3. So it's like already $15 up. I'm like, okay, I don't know how many more she's gonna play, but since she said, I believe in myself, I'm like, okay, I gotta do it. So 4th time also didn't work. 5th time, she gets it. She gets this big, huge snowman face. And then I told her, don't forget this story, that because you believed in yourself, that's why I believed in you. So in life, a lot of time that'll happen. People don't believe in you, but when you believe in yourself so strong, people around you will start believing in you. And that goes to all of us too. We as older people, we forget. So anyway, so that made me happy that, and that is the change we can make in our kids' life and people even around us, like reminding them to believe in themselves, because A lot of time, we as ourselves, we don't believe ourselves as much, right? But when we hear it from somebody, somehow it has more power or more weight to it or something that makes us believe in ourselves more. So, we can all do that for others by doing that, by little here and there, speaking positive, uplifting words. We can change the world. We don't have to change the whole world. We can change the world that is around us, because there is always a ripple effect. If people around us are feeling happy and nice, they're going to make other people feel happy and nice, because their tanks or bucket, whatever you call, if we are filling it a little more filled, and then they are going to go do that for others. And this way we can leave the world just a little bit better than we found it. Anyway, so I spoke a lot again today. It was after a long time. I sat down and set my tripod, so I know I talked about a lot of different things. Tonight there's a Christmas event at the church, so Alice and I are gonna go, and before that, I think in the neighborhood, a little bit far away from here, have some Christmas lights. They do it with the last few years I've seen they did, so this year also probably they'll do with the FM radio channel. They kind of do the musical thing with the lights, so we might go there first and then eat a little dinner and then go to the Christmas event at the church. I'm excited about that. Tomorrow Alice has some Christmas event at school. In the afternoon there is again something at the church, but I'm not sure if I'll have the energy to go to the evening one. We'll see. And Sunday regular church. So next couple days I'll probably make shorter videos, but for my consistency I'm gonna keep doing it, because it just it fills me up. It I don't know, in some way it kind of gives me the confidence. And if you're trying something consistently, keep trying. Some days you don't feel it, either it is going to gym or writing a journal. If you're writing a journal, even if you write one line, it helps to break a bad pattern, because we are intentionally trying to learn to be more mindful, more aware, to be more positive, and we are kind of training our brain, and it does work. I didn't realize the impact first few months, but now that it has been almost 6 months every single day, even if I'm not doing anything else, most of the time, I would say 90% of the time, I'm looking forward to making these videos, or 95% of the time, I'm like looking forward to making these videos. Some days, like I think you might have seen, it was on Tuesday, I didn't really feel it, but I did it. Because that, I don't know, that gives you a thing that you can accomplish things without being dependent on anybody or things like that, and that helps to, in some way, to find our new identity or something, because especially in midlife, this channel is all about that, right? Midlife community. So in midlife, a lot of us go through that midlife crisis in many different ways, and sometimes finding that identity is important, because that can shift the whole perspective. Because, and that was one of the things late last year when I set a goal for myself. I kind of, in my mind, I had it like that 98 and 99, how it worked, how it changed the trajectory of my life. And now in 2004, this whole year, I wanted to learn so much about my own emotions, so much about how, I don't know, process feelings, emotions, and whatnot. And I learned so much. I don't think I have learned this much about myself in the last 40 some years. And it seems like everything has happened the way it's supposed to. And at this time, like 12:26 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 13th December 2024 on Friday, I'm in the right place at the right time, and just what it is supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be anywhere else. I'm not supposed to be, working in a place that is not meant for me, and all of this. And once we accept all of this, that's the key, right? We feel more happy, because then we are not pushing ourselves against the current. More we go with the flow, more we attract the things that we want to manifest in our life. And then it doesn't feel struggle anymore. Just Abraham Hicks, if you have seen her videos on YouTube, she talks about feel your way into the thing that you want to manifest. And it kind of goes back to like the words, and I kind of say, because this is what resonates with me the most. You can speak your words, you can speak your way into the reality. So you can feel your way into the reality, you can speak your way into the reality. Because I think feeling comes, well, it can go first. Feeling can go first, or words can go first. But I think we can always uplift ourselves by consuming the words, like, if you read or listen to some positive books or meditation, or you are speaking to a friend about all those things, you can start to feel a little better versus how you were feeling before. That's how I think that we can change, by speaking the reality that we want to get into. So we can speak our way into the new reality that we want, because at some point it becomes so normal. This is the last thing I'm going to say and then finish the video. So Mary Kate, I mentioned her also here and there. I watch some of her videos on YouTube for a few years here and there, off and on. She talks about it in a very good way. When you want to manifest something, feel it like, oh, it's obvious, right? It's like, what is such a big thing about it? So now I'll give an example, like how she talks about. So let's say I'm going to use a metaphor thing. Okay. So I have this little Vaseline here. So, if you think that, okay, I need to get that Vaseline, you're like, okay, it's such a big deal, right? You can go buy a Vaseline. It probably will cost you $1 or less or more. So she says, if you're trying to manifest, I don't know, like $20 million, think about it just this way. Just like a Vaseline, as you can go buy Vaseline, and $20 million can just manifest like that. And that's that might seem very extreme. The example might seem very extreme, but that is in our mind. That's what she says. And I like how she says it, and that is because how we grew up, right? If a person grew up in a family who are millionaires, right, like multimillionaires, and for them, like, the world's top 1% rich people, or 5%, I don't know, whatever the percentage is, like, who are in that range, for them, $20 million is like having this little Vaseline container. Vaseline container, like buying like that, because for them $20 million is not much, but because regular people like us, it's like a big deal, because the way we grew up, because that is all in our head. So I like her concepts, like you have to make it, like she's like, if you have to get water, do you think like, oh, I have to get water, I know that I'm gonna get water, it's like that obvious, or seeing the blue sky. Well, today it's like a little cloudy, but generally you don't have to think about it, it's so obvious. So she says, anything that you're trying to manifest, just start thinking about it, because a lot of people would say about money that money creates problem, but that's what is in their mind, and that's like the blockers you need to clear. So I use the example of money here, and she also says, because money is one of the biggest hurdle that people have in their mind when they try to manifest. But money is like anything else. It's like breathing um, clean air, drinking water. So I love how she um, uses these concepts. If you haven't checked her, I would encourage checking her channel, Mary Kate, on YouTube. She's awesome. I have recommended this to some of my friends. Um, very few people kind of resonate with her. I don't know why, but I love it because she kind of talks about this thing that manifestation for different people are different because we all are different. We learn different ways. So I have used some of her tactic for different things, and it really worked, and that's why I keep going back to. But anyway, this is the last thing, and I'm gonna finish the video. I was drinking from my Christmas cup today. Christmas is this week and a half. After that, Christmas will be over, so I got to enjoy the journey. So I hope you guys enjoy your journey too, and have a good weekend, and set good intentions, and it'll go good. I have to remind myself of that. I do it throughout the day more, as I have been doing it more and more. So I remember to do my IPEG, which is, if you have seen my videos before, I talk about it. It's actually IPEG. What it is I is intention setting. Number 2 is practicing present moment with all my senses. Number 3 is affirmations, positive affirmations for the things I want to manifest. Number 4 is gratitude. 3 new gratitude every single day. So yeah, I keep practicing sometime when I wake up, sometime throughout the day, here and there, and that has been very helpful. So whatever you do, do it consistently, and it's going to work. Especially after 6 months, you're going to see a big change. Okay, thank you. Take care. Bye.